And good evening, viewers of YouTube of this channel. Hope everybody's doing well. For those that watched the ball game yesterday, I hope you have somewhat recovered. If you participated in the traditional fashion. As for myself, I continued my boycott of professional sports. But for those that are Chiefs fans, congratulations. For those that are 49ers fans, better luck when Nancy Pelosi's out of office. What can I say? Not that she had anything to do with the team losing. I just thought I'd be silly with that one. Jamie, what's going on, my friend? How are you, brother? Good to see you here with us tonight. Miss Vanessa, glad to have you with us tonight as always. Whew, what a roller coaster of a week. And it's only Monday. Got a lot of stuff going on at work. We've got an advisory council meeting. Hello, Willie. On Thursday that I have to go to. Our school is wanting to expand the number of programs we have, which is good. It's good. Yeah, I saw some of the highlights, Vanessa. I've heard the Chiefs pulled it off like last minute. But saw some of the clips. It looked like we had a pretty good ball game going on. But anyway, folks, like I said, been busy with work. Hey, Pro Carey, glad to have you. Just drive carefully, brother. Luke Dog, what's going on, my friend? Well, anyway, like I said, a lot of things going on with work right now. Our schools, we're trying to expand some programs in the industrial technology department by adding, the goal is to try and add mechatronics and electrical engineering, maybe even automation. They're working to get our heating and AC and our welding programs to a 2-year degree instead of a 1-year diploma. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on. So I've had to build some slides for this presentation. Supposed to have a lot of industry coming to the event. So that's part of what tied me up last Monday, was getting stuff ready for that. Why I couldn't be here last Monday. I apologize for that. But we're back tonight and off to a good start. Got a lot of people out there. A lot of things going on around the world. I would ask tonight for prayers for my nephew. I've got a nephew that lives in New Mexico, and over the weekend, his wife took him to the hospital with chest pains, and they ran an EKG, found nothing, did some other tests. When they went to run the second EKG, he had a heart attack. But today, and as of right now, as far as I know, he is still in surgery, undergoing what I presume to be a triple bypass, according to his mother. He had 2 or 3 blockages, 2 at 100% and 1 at 99. So very fortunate to still be among the living with blockages like that. But just ask you pray and keep him in your prayers if you would, please. I'd really appreciate that. But other than that, we're plugging along and doing our thing, folks. Don't forget, next Saturday will be the second segment in my new survival series. We're going to talk about and demonstrate and try to show you how to build a Dakota or smokeless fire pit. We may even go into some other aspects of improving that site with the shelter. The goal is to use that particular site for additional segments in the series, but we're also going to continue to add on and build up to eventually we've got ourselves a semi-permanent survival structure built out there. So we're going to stay on that course. It'll be the second Saturday of every month. Of course, it won't be live, of course, but it will come out the second Saturday of every month. So I hope everybody will tune in and watch that when it comes out. Oh my, Vanessa, did everything, have you got your results back? That's a lot, girl. Well, Vanessa, I hope everything's okay. Keep us updated on how that turns out, please. Keep you in my prayers. Uh, well, let's go ahead and get into it, folks. Let's go ahead and get into it. Um, we're gonna start tonight with uh, make sure I got all the pages to this one. Did it print twice? Okay, here we go. Yeah. First one tonight. Wounds that time cannot heal. So here we go. Here we go. Know the feeling, Vanessa. Know the feeling. Just keep us posted. And it goes to read, time heals many things in many ways, through many means, or so it seems. But alas, some things seen and etched forever in my soul, memories of time can fade and time can subside and make it go away, even if just for a day. Other thoughts, fleeting moments linger on, never ending, never gone. One such memory I carry with me, at times I can hide it and others ignore it. Then come the dark days, days I wished it would end, the pain of the vision would just be gone. This memory I share of a war-torn land so far from home in a barren, desolate place. Imagine, if you will, in a convoy you travel in a conflict on foreign soil. You pass through a settlement, a town perhaps, and there on the road stands a child wearing nothing but rags. Her arm in a sling, haphazardly bandaged, her face covered in dirt, holding a ragged stuffed animal. She looks at you as you pass by, a soul-stealing gaze that tears at your heart. You wish to stop and pick her up and tell her she is loved, that it is just a bad dream. Then cold reality comes to bear and tears you away and rips your heart out, and there's nothing you can do. For many years this hurt I carry and carry still today, forever etched in my soul, forever to remain. Scar on my heart, an open wound that never fully heals, festering again and again. War is hell, it has been said, for those who witness it. This is just one story of its hold. Its hold on a man's heart, some days bitter, some days dull, but always there, never an end in sight. To my grave I will take it, and of this I am sure, for it is my burden, I guess, to bear. For that child, I pray that God above removed her from that place with his love and grace. I strive to forgive myself and say it was orders I had to obey, a soldier's duty, one that haunts me today. And God forgive me that I did not act in your name and act to save that child. And now you see, my friends, why I say there are wounds that time cannot heal. Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate that, young lady. I hope they get you taken care of, Vanessa. Hope they get you taken care of. I've had bouts with neurologists too. The one that I had that was good, he passed away, and then his practice just abruptly closed. So, and I've been on the hunt for one that's familiar with his work. That's the problem too. He kind of narrowed things down on the Gulf War syndrome for me. He'd been treating a lot of patients from Fort Bragg that couldn't get no answers from the VA or for Walter Reed. And what he started doing was, I mean, you'd go to this doctor and he, first day, would run like 23, 24 vials of blood. And but he finally narrowed it down to some things that were in my blood that had been there and were lingering. And but and then not sure what happened to him, but he was dealing with his own issues and health, and kept it well hidden. But one day we went to go for an appointment and got called to follow up, and it was like, clinic closed. Like, wow. You're right, Jamie, and Willie, correct. You are as well, sir. And the further we progress in life, that just it seems to be the things that happen. Like I said, I've got another one that's titled "The Child Left Behind." It's basically about the same thing. It's about the same child in the same place. And that's my way of dealing with it, is to put it down into verse and prose. And I've learned to open up and share that, as the years go by. And it makes it, I'm not gonna say it makes it easier, but it makes it a little better to deal with. It is what it is. I certainly do not have the demons that many of my other friends have. I pray for them too. I've got friends that have seen and done things that I think will haunt them the rest of their days. My own father. I've shared with y'all. My father was a World War II veteran. His first action in the combat was D-Day. He jumped 508 parachute infantry into D-Day, and their plane was scattered. Their plane was the last one to take off from their airfield in England. They landed 25 miles from their intended drop zone. Dad didn't talk a lot about things. Some things he would, some he wouldn't. But according to my mama, there'd be nights Dad would wake up, 30, 40 years after that war ended, would wake up in the middle of the night in cold sweats. Willie, you're absolutely right about that, my friend. You are absolutely right about that. And sometimes you get those that understand enough not to, how do I phrase it? You got those that know they want to help, but they know they don't know enough to help, and they just know to, when you're in one of those days, to kind of back off and give you room. And you got those that, for the love that's all that's hold it, they want to help. They just too much, and sometimes hard to tell loved ones are trying to help you through those days. And look, there's nothing you can do. Just give me room, give me space, let me unwind. I'll be okay in a little bit, but so half a dozen of one and 10 of the other, I guess. But yeah, and I was in the VFW, where I'm still a part of. I'm a life member, but the post I actively served in, one of our members was captured in the early parts of the war. He spent 39 months in a North Korean prisoner of war camp, and doesn't talk much about that, other than that he survived. If you will, if y'all get a chance, look up what they called. I want to say they called it the Tiger Death March. Okay, now there was the Bataan Death March during World War II in the Philippines, and it was just a gas what the Japanese did to the U.S. service members. But this particular, I'm hoping I'm getting it right, the Tiger Death March in Korea. Need to read about that one. But this gentleman was a part of that one, and like I said, spent 39 months in a North Korean POW camp. So as bitter as he could be at times, I figured he was entitled to be bitter when he wanted to be, and whatever he did his time in hell, as far as I'm concerned. And sometimes, Vanessa, that's the best thing you can do. And like I said, there's no perfect solution when people are dealing with their PTSD. My dad's dad was called being shell shocked, battle fatigue. Now my dad's generation was taught not to talk about it, deal with it, and for years he drank, You know, he didn't get mean when he drank. But he would drink sometimes. I think sometimes to forget. Uh, so, but when you put that on somebody, especially people at a very young age, it's going to scar them emotionally, and you just try to deal with it the best you can. But let's talk about something a little lighter. Talk about the Super Bowl. I didn't watch it. I understand Miss Lovato did a very good job with the national anthem. She didn't oversing it, but there were two pieces of trash in the stadium that decided to sit. I won't name no names, but one of them rhymes with hay and T, and the other one rhymes with G and Wancy, and yeah. I wish somebody packed them up, moved them to Cuba or Iran, and let them stay over there for a while. But I understand she did a very good job singing the national anthem. And then there's that's all I've heard in the news today. And turn on the radio, try to go somewhere. Is the Super Bowl halftime show, and I was like, oh my goodness! And I looked at who performed it, and I just, I thought to myself, they want one thing on one hand and one thing on the other, and it just, stop getting up there and acting the way you're acting, and maybe people will take heed what you're trying to say. That's part of the reason I don't watch Super Bowl anymore. I got out of the watching that, I guess every bit of 15, maybe even 20 years ago. That's what I heard, Jamie. That's what I heard. I watched a few snippets of it, just had to turn it. Just not my cup of tea anymore. Now, when I was 18, 19, 20, yeah, I did some stupid stuff. I can remember when I was in Germany, we would stay up till, oh gosh, every bit of 2 in the morning to watch the game live. And sometimes they'd give us late call the next day, and sometimes they'd give us the day off. And sometimes we'd still have to get up at 5:30 and be outside at 6:30 for PT. So, so I don't know. But then, back in the late 80s, halftime shows weren't like what the spectacles that they are today. Like I said, that's another reason I just don't. Anyway, I don't keep up with it too much anymore. I don't keep up with a lot of pro sports anymore. Okay. Too cheap to use our own song, Vanessa. I like that. It's funny. But Brass Tard, what's going on, my friend? I don't blame you. I don't blame you, bud. I think I sat around the house and caught the tail end of the Sackets. Watched a good part of Last Stand at Sabre River with Tom Selleck. I watched various other television shows yesterday. Willie Bullock, man, you are 100% correct on that one, my friend. But another reason I don't watch pro ball, there's no honor in the game anymore. It seems like when I was a kid, yeah, the players could do some stupid stuff and be mean, but at the end of the day, there was a sense of honor among players that I don't know, it's just not there anymore. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but that's my opinion. There just seems to be no honor amongst players anymore. In a certain regard. And two, I don't know when the last time I watched a pro football game that was played in the snow and the mud. Yeah, whatever happened to those days? Now that was football. I can remember a kid, we'd be watching the Steelers play up there in Pittsburgh, snow coming down and just the mud all over the field, and watching Green Bay play within a snow blizzard, and people catching the ball and sliding 15 yards after they caught it. That was football. That was football. And watching the game, the Denver Broncos would play, and it'd be, just, I don't know. nostalgia, I guess. My all-time favorite was watching that Coca-Cola commercial with Mean Joe Green. He's coming off the field. He's got his jersey over his shoulder, and the kid gives him his Coca-Cola, and he drinks it all. And the kid's kind of like, "Oh man, I didn't mean for you to drink it all." And he, "Hey kid," and throws him the jersey. That if you remember that commercial, it wound up, that commercial became so popular they did a made-for-TV movie with Mean Joe Green, based on that, which I thought maybe ABC was reaching for straws for ratings, but that was a pretty good one. Yeah, right, Vanessa. I can't play in inclement weather. It's not, it's against their contract, right? But I remember watching World Series played in cold weather. I forget what year it was, but they were playing, and I want to say it was New York. And there were a couple of games, the weather was below freezing. I think one game it actually started to snow. It wasn't sticking, but it started to, flurries while they were playing baseball. I don't know. Things change, time changes. That's the only thing that's constant in this world is change. I think all of us here are fully aware of that. But it's fun to reminisce. I just wish certain things would go back to a certain way. But I'm afraid the cat's already out the bag, so that's just not going to happen anymore. But I digress. But anyway. But like I said, folks, a lot of things going on right now. Pray for the North Carolina National Guard, as they've got several soldiers that are deployed, and all of our soldiers deployed. But the reason I've got some friends with the North Carolina National Guard that are over there, personal friends, and I'm praying for all of them to get back safe and sound. Yep, you're right, Vanessa. They'd play with 2 or 3 inches of water in the outfield. I can remember though, if it started raining, they'd have to, the dugout or the ground crew'd come out and they'd cover the dirt part of the field. They'd put tarps out, keep that part dry. Because when I was living in Atlanta as a kid, I can remember going to Fulton County Stadium. Jamie, you'll appreciate this. They'd come out there and they'd put all that out there. But you talk about that. The other thing you don't see, I guess, because it's not politically correct, but Atlanta Braves used to have a mascot by the name of Chief Nakahoma. And he would, right before the national anthem would play, he would run. And I mean, and Jamie, I'm sure you can attest to this. That dude would fly from the bullpen, the Braves bullpen, and I mean, he would take off and he'd haul out and get that mound, do his war dance, and then they'd play the national anthem, and then it was time to play ball. That was always fun to watch. And then they brought that gal on. What was her name? Princess. Oh, Jamie, help me out. What was the name of the princess they brought on to help Chief Nakahoma? Somewhere about the mid to late 80s, I think. Yeah, you're right about that. No more Teddy Roosevelt's, Ronald Reagan's. Everybody's going. So that I'm taking they didn't rename it Vanessa, but they were going to. Trying to keep up with side chat, folks. I remember the TP. I remember the TP, Jamie. And a lot of tobacco farms down here, Vanessa, there's still a lot of places around here that grow it, but nowhere the likes of what it used to be. Was that her name, Jamie? Home of the Brave? I can't remember. It's been so long ago. But man, old Chief Nakahoma, though, that dude could run. Man, that dude could run. And there'd be times, I think sometimes his son would go out there with him too from time to time. They'd race to the mound. But those were the days. Those were the days. Back when you could go to across the, you could stop at the varsity on the way. We'd get a box of dogs, and that was before they banned coolers. You could go into Fulton County Stadium with your own food. We'd get a 2-3 boxes of them hot dogs and take in with us. Ooh, oh man. Next time I'm in, Jamie, we're going to go to Kennesaw to the varsity, brother, and get some hot dogs. I promise. Absolutely, Vanessa, and I don't know why they'd want to change it, but General Bradley, awesome. Last 5-star general in the United States Army. History lesson. He was the last one promoted, but does anybody know when Omar Bradley was promoted to the 5-star rank? All right, Pro Care, you be safe, brother. Thanks for stopping in tonight, man. Be careful out there. Because there's a little people get a tendency that they get Bradley's date of promotion mixed up. A lot of people don't realize when Bradley actually got promoted. A lot of people also don't realize that General Pershing, who had 4 stars, outranked every 5-star general that was ever promoted in the U.S. Army. And it goes to reason this way. Every 5-star general that was ever promoted in the Army was giving the rank and title of General of the Army, singular. General Pershing is the only general ever to hold the title of General of the Armies, plural. And by that title and that title alone, that virtue of that title, he outranks every 5-star general that was ever promoted. And then Omar Bradley was promoted to the rank in 1950, thus making him the last 5-star general to be promoted. Another interesting fact, any general or flag rank officer promoted to the 5-star rank technically has never retired. And at a certain point in time and age, they go into civilian life per se. But for the remainder of their life, they're still carried on the active roles on the active duty list. It's just the way they wrote the regulation when that came into place. Technically, even though MacArthur was relieved of duty, he was never retired. Eisenhower, on the other hand, there was a special act that had to be passed to allow him to resign in order for him to run for president. And after he did his 2 terms as president, another special act reinstated him to his active rank of 5-star general. Okay, Vanessa, cool. Did not know that. What's up, Warsaw? You doing all right, brother? Life treating you all right? Oh. Whew. But yeah, a little history lesson there. But anyway, folks, let's go on to the second poem of the evening. I hope everybody, like I said, still out there is doing good. Titled this one, Homecoming, Counting the Days. And it goes to read, somewhere, someplace, in a home near, a home far, waits a mother, a father, a son, a daughter, a husband, a wife. They count the days, they fret the nights, the weeks apart, the months gone by, the loved one they have who has been gone. They wait, you see, for it to be over, for it to end, for their soldier, their sailor, their airman, their marine to come home. Off in a faraway land, or the other side of the nation. This is where they have been, serving and protecting all we hold dear, a sacrifice that holds no cheer. For some, this time away has been worrisome, has been frightful, Reports of battles and casualties listed and named. Afraid to listen, yet they do, praying and hoping not to hear a certain name. Going to the calendar, how many more days? Then that day comes, a plane lands, and off they come, tired and weary, thankful and blessed, this is certain. To the loving arms they do go, hugs and kisses, no end in sight. Not enough to go around, or so it seems. Children crying, children laughing, mothers weeping, fathers doing the same, thankful that theirs are home and thankful it is over. So remember, when you appreciate your freedom, someone must serve and defend to protect you and me. Their families serve too, you see, in manners and ways you can never fully understand until you have counted the days. Hope y'all like that one. World War II, soldiers and everybody pretty much served for the duration of the war unless you were wounded and got to come home. Air crews, after so many missions, could come back to the States, but it wasn't always a guarantee they would get a leave or a furlough to go home. But for your average fighting soldiers who were fighting on the ground, that they were where they were going to be for the duration, or so it seemed. World War I was the same way. Korean War was a little different. Initially, units were to stay for the duration, then they kind of changed it into a rotation, and you rotated as units. And then by the time the Vietnam War got into full swing, it got into a one-on-one rotation where you got in the country, you were doing 12 or 13 months, and you were coming home. The unit's headquarters stayed in country, and the soldiers rotated in and out from there. First Gulf War, we were pretty much told that we would be there until the war was, until the fighting was done. But then we got involved in the second go around, and it was more back to the unit rotations. Units would go over for a set amount of time, and then they would come back being replaced by another unit. So to say that there's a perfect solution, there never really is. But to go back to the Civil War, soldiers would fight 4 or 5 years before ever coming back home and not seeing family and loved ones. And for the family and loved ones, all they could do was go to the calendar and count potentially how many days and how much longer they would be gone. So yeah. Yeah, and I know that I lost some one time, and I said never again on that one. I just did. That guy, but it is not hard to do, Vanessa. And you know as well as I do, you get tied up in things going on. Next thing you know, you hit 60 mark, and physical year rolls around, and you either use it or lose it. I know for a while the Army was letting people carry up to 75 days, but now they're back to their traditional 60. And then you could only sell back so many in a career. I think the limit was, I think it let you sell back up to 60 days in a career. Or was it 30? It's either 30 or 60. I can't remember. But you could say you could sell back X amount of days. That was the other alternative. But once you hit that cap, then so yeah. I know when I retired, I had 52 days on the books when the physical year rolled around and dropped my retirement packet. So every bit of leave I'd saved up in that point in time, I think when I retired, I took, let's see, I went on permissive TDY 1 June. My terminal leave started 1 July. I took almost 90 days of terminal leave when I retired. But I made a point to save that much up so I could, So really, for 120 days, I was looking for a job and not doing much else. But in the wartime situation, for the loved ones back home, all they can do is look at the calendars. And nowadays, most units they deploy they kind of have a predetermined return date. even though we all know that can change at a moment's notice. Um, uh, the return date, that's what the family's got to look forward to. According to the service member, does as well, and it can make for anxious times. It really can. Princess Pocahoma. Okay, Luke. Oh, you're the man on the spot, Luke, dog. Pocahoma. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you were absolutely right, brother. Lord, it's been so long ago. Didn't mean to jump tangents again, folks, but when Luke Dog popped that one in. I think we went to the games together a couple times, didn't we, Luke? Pretty sure we did. My dad would come home with tickets from Fort McPherson. So me and my brother, we'd always take all kinds of people with us. Fun times. Fun times. But anywho, anyhow, anyway, folks. Oh. Whew. Getting tired. Don't know why. But anyway. So, now that the lovely waste of congressional time is about as an end, maybe they'll get back into working for the people again. That's another one thing I really haven't been trying to watch too much of, just because it burns my insides up watching all that waste of money. But hopefully they'll get that finished and resolved this week and move along and get things done from there. But anyhow, anyway. But yeah, back to what I was telling you earlier in the evening about where I'm working at. They're talking about expanding. So we have to make a pitch this week at this advisory council on the need to expand, not do away with what we already have, but to expand our programs to offer these 2 additional associate degree programs. So hopefully that'll go through. And then eventually maybe they'll be able to get the automation degree in, but our HVAC and welding department, like I said, they're working on going from a 1-year degree to a 2-year associate's degree. And I can actually see the need for that, as much as the things are changing out there, the things that are available in industry that require a higher level of education. So I hope it happens. Yeah, Warsaw, I caught your video on that. It's pretty cool, man. But if y'all haven't heard this one, you're talking about Warsaw's talking about American song. I normally don't like when people change the national anthem very much, especially in certain things. But there is one group out there that did a rendition that I think is awesome. And if you haven't heard it or checked it out, go check out Madison Rising, Madison Rising, Rising. Hey, I can spell tonight. But Madison Rising is the name of the band, and they do a rendition of the national anthem that, I mean, it goes from being our national anthem to a fight song. It just is absolutely awesome. You just got to go check it out. So I can't say enough about that one. But other than that, go check that one out, because people talk about music. We got on a tangent there. That was the other thing during the first Gulf War. We got on the plane to come back. And all we heard on AFN for the weeks leading up to our return back was Lee Greenwood's "God Bless the USA." And I got to say, even to this day, to this very day, I'll hear that song play and I still get goosebumps. Yeah, Warsaw, you can put that link in for people. Appreciate that. But I still get goosebumps when I hear Lee Greenwood's "God Bless the USA." Really do. No, it sounds corny, but if Truth be told, there's an a cappella group out there I like listening to. It's called Home Free. They do a very awesome rendition of God Bless the USA. So if you get a chance to listen to them as well, go check them out. And they've actually got some pretty good music. Hey, Jim Beer, what's going on, my friend? Good to have you with us tonight. Good to have you with us tonight. Now, to all those out here on the channel tonight that are over 50, is simple. Yes or no question. How many of y'all had the shingles vaccination? You know, you can just sound off in the comments with a Y for yes and an N for no. The reason I say that, because I had a VA appointment last Monday too. And again, then I got to talk, and he says, "Have you had your shingles vaccination?" I said, "Why, no, I haven't. I didn't think I was old enough." Apparently, they've got a newer vaccination out that is now recommended for those 50 or older. And so I went, I said, all right, go ahead and give it to me. I've got to go back in 90 days for second iteration and then done. The reason I mention this, for those that are over 50, if you get it, if you've had the chicken pox when you were younger, you need to get the shingles vaccine, because shingles is, they say, is chicken pox on steroids times 100. I don't want to ever find out. But I will forewarn you, that vaccine, that shot hurts about a day after, where they stick it in your arm. And you'll feel kind of blah for a day or two. Just forewarning you. But I've got to go back in April and get the second iteration. So I just thought I'd share that with y'all. And if you're a veteran, go to the VA clinic and get it done for free. Because shingles ain't no joke. Yeah, it can cost people their eyesight and things like that. Warsaw, you're absolutely right. But there was a lady we went to church with that had it, and she had it bad. And from what I understand, people with the shingles, it wherever they pop up at, it is painful. It is extremely painful to them at the site where it has flared up. So I don't wish that on anybody. I really don't. So if you haven't got it, I highly recommend you talk to your doctors about getting it done. That, and I had to have the Cologuard talk as well. So I'm waiting on for that to come in the mail. Hopefully I get the mail. I really don't want to do the other if I don't have to. But that's neither here nor there, though, at this point in time. Just part of growing older, I guess. Well, folks, we are coming up on, where's my counter? My counter, oh, there we go. Can't even see tonight. 43 minutes. Yeah, Jim, you hit the nail on the head. My VA doc was supposed to send off for it, and I'm waiting to hear back when it's going to come in. And then they said results coming back from it. Then you have to go get the other done. But everything comes back fine. You're supposedly good for 5 years. So we shall see. But anyway, folks, great way to end the night talking about pooping a cup. But anyway, folks, I'm going to close this one out and get ready to go and spend some quality time with Mrs. Old Soldier. It's just me and her in the house tonight. My son, God bless him, got his job at the hospital working as a nurse's aide now, and he's working graveyard shift. Daughter moved out. Another story for another time. And so it's just me and her tonight, and we're kind of going through the empty nest type thing, sort of, kind of. And then I got another boy that's out in Fort Riley, Kansas. Pray for him as well. He's had a lot of things going on in his life. A few weeks ago, his apartment burned down, so he's got a lot going on with him. Well, Jamie, I can live without having to experience that if at all possible. I've had enough fun and excitement in my life. But anyway, folks, sometimes it's just part of growing older. Got to get things done. But God bless each and every one of you for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it. It's been some great side chat. If you're liking this Monday night poem thing, hit the like and share. Tell your friends about it. ask your friends to subscribe to the channel if they would, if they like what I talk about. So do that for me, I'd appreciate it. Likewise, if you go to one of my videos, you can check out the charities I always ask you to help out with. TunnelsToTowers.org, Folds of Honor, Pen Up for Vets, and Valor for Veterans. They can't do it by themselves, folks. If you can spare anything to help them out, they'd be greatly appreciated. And I'll close on this. My 2 books that are available on Amazon are now priced at an all-time low. If you haven't got them yet, go check them out. And if you want them signed, just email me at rantsofanoldsoldier@gmail.com, and I can tell you where to send the books. I'll sign them and I'll mail them back to you. But until next week, folks, God bless. Take care. I've enjoyed it tonight. Thank you all so much for coming out and supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. And Luke Dog, tell Connie congratulations on her retirement, brother. And the rest of the family that I said hello. I saw that picture, and it's been a while, and you all look fabulous, brother. Until then, God bless. Take care. Old Soldier out.